Neo is unstoppable, and I'm convinced for a number of reasons that we're going to go through today. Let's start with some of the latest news. Deutsche Bank says that Onvu has 30,000 plus non cancelable orders for the L60 SUV. And we're going to be having a look at this today. We've got a few news topics to touch on in regards to the Onvu L60. In line with the practice of the parent company, NIO sub-brand Onvu has not disclosed the number of orders for its debut model since the launch on September 19th. However, earlier this week, Onvu stated that the official app order has exceeded expectations, and efforts are made to meet customer demand. Deliveries of the standard range variant, which feature a 60 kilowatt battery, will start next Saturday, September 28th. Today is that day. While deliveries for the long range variant, that's the 85 kilowatt battery pack, that will start deliveries in December, according to EV Maker. And this is another huge thing as well. Considering that today is the 28th of September, NIO's officially begin their deliveries of the Onvu L60. And it's good that we got some clarification that it is the 60 kilowatt battery pack option. This thing is selling out. Simply, it's selling out. Based on the information I've received, it looks like NIO's hit capacity. Literally, they can't fulfill the orders. I don't even think they can accept any new orders at this current moment. People in China are simply just excited to get this new vehicle in their hands. So yes, deliveries of the L60 begin across the country of China, with delivery ceremonies taking place in multiple cities across China, according to information and images posted by Onvu on Weibo and its mobile app. Now you might be wondering, why am I saying that NIO is unstoppable? I'll explain really simply. Despite the rumors that they were trying to buy the Audi factory in Belgium, NIO actually had a great reason for not doing that. They said, well, if Audi can't afford to run that factory in Belgium, why would they try to buy it? That's the best response you could possibly give. Yeah, that's the best response. But one of the other things that I will highlight is that despite the tariffs that are currently hindering Chinese brands like NIO for their expansion in Europe, despite all of this, NIO is looking for other places that they can expand to. One of those places is the Middle East. NIO will open the first Middle Eastern store showroom at the Galleria Mall in November. NIO will open its first showroom in Abu Dhabi this November as part of its expansion plan. The showrooms, known as NIO Spaces, will be located in Galleria. So essentially where they're putting their showroom, it's in a high-end mall in the UAE. Now that's fantastic. That's a really good thing because the showroom, it's there to promote your brand, and you want to promote it in the best area possible. Some of the other luxury brands that are featured in the same location, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Dior. Obviously, the UAE is a very rich country. People who live there, they tend to do really well financially. So this would be a great place for NIO to bring their vehicles. I would really like to see NIO, create a partnership with the government of the UAE or with the police force, get the NIO vehicles in the hands of the police force. You remember early back in 2011, 2012, 2013, Dubai made a big deal of their police vehicles. It's the first time in the world you'd find a Bugatti police vehicle, a Lamborghini police vehicle, a Porsche, a Ferrari police vehicle. That was happening in Dubai. And that was happening in Dubai longer than a decade ago. So the fact that NIO has this option, I don't know if they will explore this option, but I hope they would. Yeah, get those vehicles in the hands of the police force, especially some of the best looking NIO vehicles. Yeah, come on, NIO. I mean, you've got some great looking vehicles. Let's promote the crap out of your vehicles in any possible way. But you can see, if there's a slowdown in expansion in Europe, NIO has other places that they can expand into. The UAE has been developing for the last 20 years and it's done a remarkable job at that. But there are other places in the Middle East that are developing rather fastly. Look at Saudi Arabia. Look at what they've accomplished in the last 10, 20 years or so. It's not as grand and not as impressive as Abu Dhabi and Dubai, but that's also because it is not well showed. We don't really know what's going on in Saudi Arabia, but if you look into the information, there's a lot that's going on. There's a lot of people migrating there for work, for jobs. There's a lot of construction. There's a lot of development. There's a lot of people living there, happy life, happy family life. So it's a place that's developing rather quickly. And as we know, Lucid has a factory over there because Lucid is owned by the Saudi Investment Fund, which was a very smart move by the Saudi government because they want to get their hands on an innovative company just like Lucid. This will help their economy to innovate. This will help their economy to educate their young ones to go into the field of engineering, designing, manufacturing, software development. The list is quite enormous. While Europe is still the one of the main destination, the USA is still one of the main destination. The USA and Canada, yeah, but they can expand to other areas. Speaking of Canada, China opens investigation into Canada's tariffs on imported EVs, steel, and aluminum. Now, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. I've been waiting for something like this because I've said for a long time the tariffs they do seem oddly unfair. However, I can understand that these countries they want these companies to come in and build factories and provide jobs for the local economy. That's good, but that's not the only reason why they're putting on tariffs on Chinese companies. Because why don't they just put on tariffs on European companies as well? You don't see America and Canada putting tariffs on European companies, do you? In fact, you don't see them putting tariffs on Japanese companies, do you? It's just a Chinese EV. Oh, interestingly, why aren't they putting tariffs on all Chinese made products? Why is it only the electric vehicles? Is it possible because China is the best at developing and building and selling electric vehicles and and this would have a huge impact on the European market and their vehicles, their legacy automakers and America's legacy automakers like Ford, Chevrolet, Cadillac. Cadillac, Tesla, the list goes on. You go to Europe, it's Audi, Mercedes, BMW, it's a lot over there. It's Stellantis and all the it's Stellantis and all the companies that are in the Stellantis group. So why aren't they putting on a tariff on all Chinese made products, including the iPhone? Why aren't they doing that? Why is it only targeted at electric vehicles? Yeah, so that's what I don't like. It's the hypocrisy. China's Ministry of Commerce has opened an anti-discrimination investigation into Canada's newly announced tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, steel, and aluminum. The minister said on Thursday, and I quote, Justin Trudeau, government aims to hit from next week onwards Chinese EV brands with 100% tariff on imported goods. Oh my goodness. I aim to limit the expansion plan for Chinese major players such as BYD, which is present in several South American markets. And one would expect that because, South America tends to be a little bit more welcoming, especially with these EVs. Also, I don't think South America has a lot of electric vehicle brands or automotive brands that they're trying to protect. While if you look at America, they're trying to protect their own brand. You look at Europe, they're trying to protect their own brand. So it's hypocrisy. It's the same thing that happened with Huawei. When Huawei was getting popular, they got hit with a lot of sanctions. And that's because they were starting to threaten Apple. And Europe and America wanted to protect Apple. This is my problem with it. There is hypocrisy. It's not just asking these Chinese companies, if you want to sell your vehicles here, listen, you must open a factory. You must do some sort of manufacturing in our country. No, it's not like that. They're just being like 100% tariffs. And that's not even profitable. Not for the brand, not for the country. It's not profitable for anyone. No one wins. All it accomplishes is that it slows down Chinese manufacturing companies, Chinese EV companies. But I can tell you this, because China manufactures everything in the world, I'm not too sure if you want to piss off that person because they manufacture everything you use. The expertise that China has, nowhere in the world has that. Nowhere else in the world has that. So what if China said, for every iPhone that is manufactured, there's a 100% tariff when it leaves China? What if China says that? They can. Trust me, they can. China can do whatever the hell they want. And you can try to sanction them. It's not going to work too well. So this will turn into a quick mess. Basically, the world does not want China to be in charge of the electric vehicle market at all. They don't even want to share a 50-50% share at all. So it's time for America and Europe to innovate and to advance. And China is pushing that advancement and they're trying to slow it down as much as possible. And I don't like that hypocrisy. Now, besides electric vehicle, the country also apply a 25% surtax on steel and aluminum imports, starting 2 weeks later on October 15th. The duties from Canada are in line with similar moves by US and European commissions. Yeah, why is it that they're blatantly targeting electric vehicles that China is producing? Why don't they target other Chinese-made goods like Apple devices? There's so many things that are made in China. Majority of things are made in China, especially, the cheaper ones. Why aren't they targeting those things? So now, in the media briefing, Chinese Commerce Minister spokeswoman stated that the initial findings of the investigation suggested that countries' planned tariffs and other restrictions could violate Chinese trade laws by being discriminatory. It is discriminatory. It really is. They're only subjecting it to one particular product, mostly around manufacturing of EVs. And what is the valid reason? There's not much. They're not given much valid reasons. So the investigation, which began Thursday, will last for 3 months, with the possibilities of an extension under special circumstances, according to an online statement from the ministry. That's the thing. If you set the rules and the Chinese are playing by the rules, why would you're just going to change the rules in the middle of the competition, in the middle of the game? That's unfair. So that's what's happening, and it's unfair for China. China has spent years dealing with criticism, and they've spent years developing their manufacturing. And now that it is a threat, now they take it serious. But I can tell you, NIO in China is kind of unstoppable. They're not going to slow down. They're going to use all legal grounds to fight this. And they're willing to play unfair because, like I said, they manufacture everything for you. So if you want to put tariffs on their products, you're not going to like how that ends. Last May, the US said it would increase the tariffs from 25% to 100%, while the European Commission also raised up to 36%, aiming to tackle the unfair benefits from Chinese manufacturing. What unfair benefits? That's another hypocrisy. They're saying that Chinese companies, they get a lot of money funded from the government. Okay, but that's not illegal. China is not stopping the US from funding electric vehicle brands. China's not stopping the European governments from funding their companies like Audi. Imagine if China said, Germany, you've been funding Mercedes, BMW, and Volkswagen, and Porsche their entire existence. You should stop that. It's unfair for Chinese brands. We can't compete because Germany, you keep on funding them. You've been funding them for decades. China's never said that. And that's exactly what Germany has been doing. Now that China is doing the exact same thing, it's suddenly unfair. Germany has gotten away with doing this for a very long time. All countries do this. They support their homegrown companies. It's complete hypocrisy. So I hope China continues to take them up on legal grounds because they've been doing this. So suddenly China is doing it and it's unfair? No, it's completely ridiculous. Now, just to end out this video, NIO management, December deliveries for the L60 will reach 10,000 units before jumping to 16,000 units in January next year. They already know how many vehicles they'll deliver because they have so much demand and very little supply, which kind of means that they could raise the price, but they probably won't. They're thinking very strategically, and they want to beat Tesla in China first, and they're going to beat Tesla everywhere else. 2 months later, in March 2025, the production ramp-up will allow Onvu to deliver 20,000 units. Wow. I'm telling you, this year is big for NIO, but next year is going to be extraordinarily insane. I'm not even sure if you're prepared for what that's going to look like. Another thing as well, I found this little blog post from NVIDIA. NIO unveiled Onvu L60 smart electric SUV that is built on NVIDIA Drive Orin. This is fantastic. They're using NVIDIA hardware in their vehicles. This is fantastic. A lot of electric vehicle companies are doing that, even Polestar. NVIDIA is the best out there currently. There is no doubt about that. Come on now. But hey, it's not just the Onvu vehicles that are getting NVIDIA hardware. This also includes NIO ET7, ET5, and ES7. All those models. The automotive-grade NVIDIA Drive Orin runs NVIDIA Drive OS, an operating system for safe AI-defined vehicles, and is widely used to lead and is widely used by leading global automakers. I have an NVIDIA graphics card in my computer right now. I'm telling you, NVIDIA is a very trusted brand, and I can see why they choose to work with them. Is there any other Neo news or Onvu news that I need to touch upon? But I'm telling you, it's what's happening with these tariffs is really unfair. And if you don't believe me, just look at it for yourself. But everyone knows that it's unfair, but they're just getting away with it for now. But I'm glad to see that Neo is taking up legal investigation into this because it needs to be investigated. Absolute BS. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.